Good morning. Happy Monday. I hope you guys had a good weekend. Hey, my name is Javie. This is my
I'm
wife.
Jessica.
And on this show, we discuss topics that we all have to face so we could build our faith, develop our character, and take action towards the life we want to live.
Absolutely. And speaking of building our faith, developing our character, taking action, this week's topic is a 5-part series on getting unstuck when it comes to your exercise, to getting active. We're going to talk a lot about fitness this week, guys.
Yeah.
I am so excited. Today is the first day of our 21-day challenge for September. And so I'm just pumped to talk about like all the reasons why we exercise and what is keeping us from doing that, getting unstuck, and what, really we should be thinking about up here when it comes to getting moving. So I'm loving that for this week. Now, before we get going, I want to make sure you guys are aware of a couple of things. We do have our StreamYard link in our private Facebook support group. If you're in our health and wellness group, make sure, and watching this, make sure that you're clicking that StreamYard link in the description, because that link is going to make sure we can see your name when you comment. So just simple as that. And any other description that you're looking at, if you're on YouTube or Facebook or wherever, you're going to see this YouVersion Bible app link. And that's going to take you to the devotion study that we're using to center our discussion around this week. It's just our guide. If you want to jump over to that, you'll be able to look at that yourself, find other devotional studies that are more specific even to your life. It's a great app and it has a lot of resources. So make sure you're clicking the YouVersion Bible app link there. And today is Motivational Monday.
Yeah, we're going to really find out these next 10 days who our people are, right?
5 days.
Was it 5? I thought it was a 10-day.
No, it's a 5-day series.
Oh, okay. I got used to the other one.
But
still, we're gonna find out who our people really are. You're gonna stick with us, or you're gonna hear we're talking about fitness
and run away
and I'm out.
I'm out. So we wanted to share with you something that we found this morning, and absolutely love Mel Robbins. She is one of my favorites. And so I saw something that she had said, and it really resonated with what we're talking about this week. So I wanted to, for Motivational Monday, I wanted to share this with you. All right, you guys, this is absolutely awesome.
No one's coming. No one's coming to push you. No one's coming to tell you to turn the TV off. No one's coming to tell you to get out the door and exercise. Nobody's coming to write the business plan for you. It's up to you. It's your job to make yourself do the crap you don't want to do so you can be everything that you're supposed to be. And you're so damn busy waiting to feel like it. And you're never going to.
Right.
Yep.
Oh, there's more.
You've got to parent yourself. You got to push yourself.
You got to parent yourself.
Yeah,
you got to push yourself. The whole thing is that, yeah, we have to be responsible.
Yep.
Okay. We have to take responsibility for our own lives. There's no one else that's going to do this.
Well, I think the biggest things, the most important thing she said is that we're so caught up and waiting to feel like it. I think we all know that it's our responsibility. And then we immediately jump over to, well, but when I'm ready, when I feel like it, I know that there's things with schedules and there's things with, like, hey, starting a new fitness plan, right when I'm about to leave on vacation probably isn't going to work. I understand that. But always waiting till we feel like it. No, you'll never feel like doing anything new.
So that you need to change your life. Maybe you need to work out. You need to, walk away from a toxic relationship. That you want a better life for yourself and your family. Well, no one else is going to do that, but you're like, well, yeah, I'm trying to go to the gym. I just never have time. Something always seems to come up. You know what? I hate to break this to you. Something will always come up.
Something always comes up for us, by the way.
But the thing is,
always.
Look, and we may talk oftentimes in extremes, because for us, our life has gone to extremes. Why? Because we we've been the biggest procrastinators in the world.
Yeah, actually, let me just say that real quick. Most of the time when we're telling you guys stuff and we're really adamant about it, it's because sometimes it's our biggest weaknesses. I'm always saying, gosh, is it one more thing? Like, how many things could come up and get in our way? I mean, I haven't worked out in 3 days this week, you guys, because stuff keeps coming up, but I got to get back on track. So today, like, I'm going to do it. It's just, you just have to keep going. No, I'm going to keep getting back on track.
But the thing is, you're going to continue, if you're going to continue living your life that way, there's always going to be something coming up.
Mm-hmm.
When you want to get healthy, you have to get healthy. Your doctors are telling you, you have to lose weight. You have to do this. You have to do that. But doc, I have this priority and I have this to do and this to do. I can't find time. Well, the thing is, at some point, your body's going to make you make time.
Yeah.
It's going to come all crashing down. That's not an exaggeration. It's just the truth. We need to take care of our bodies. At some point, it's all going to come to a head.
Yeah.
You have the choice right now. You have control. You know, if you don't try to grow professionally, for example, your career or your profession, you want something more, because you know that the position that you're holding right now is stagnant.
Mm-hmm.
And you're easily replaceable. Well, if you want to stand out, that means you can't go along with everyone else. You got to find a way to improve your skills, take on some personal growth, mm-hmm. and make yourself unique and stand out in anything you do. Because if not, if you're going to just go along, go with the flow, it's going to catch up to you. You're going to you're 20 years, 30 years later, you're going to be in the same situation and unhappy. It's going to just continue to add to that unhappiness in your life.
Yeah, I think one of the biggest mistakes we make as people, and we all do this, okay? It's so counterintuitive. It's so backwards. We always say, like he said, well, I don't have time. I have this priority and this priority and this priority. I've got all these responsibilities. I got this to take care of. I got this person to take care of, my kids, all this, right? But who's doing all of that if you aren't around to do it? If you get injured, if you're laid up, if you're now diagnosed with something major, if you died, in some extreme cases where, like, if my husband just didn't take care of himself, he would. I mean, he's got a pretty extreme thing going on with his level of heart disease. I mean, you just don't well, I've got other priorities. Well, no one's taking care of those priorities, though, if he's not taking care of himself. Like, you have to think, like, how backwards do we think sometimes? Like, you have to think, no, I actually can't take care of any of those priorities unless I'm able to do it. And I'm only able to do that if I'm taking care of myself for the long term. Maybe for the next year or maybe for the next month, it would be fine. But what about after that? Then you're setting yourself up for letting all of those people down or letting those situations down or flat out not being around for it. And then who's doing it? So it's like, we don't think that way. And so I think that we don't realize how much of a priority taking care of ourselves actually should be.
Yeah. And the thing is, what you're saying, you're talking about my disease and how aggressive it is and what I need to do every day. I need to be really on point. Am I on point every day? No, but I need to do my best every day.
Well,
and that's what you need to do. The thing is my whole point is don't say, well, that's Javie. That's, of course, you have that disease. And yeah, I could see that you have to do that. But what about you? Don't wait till you're in my position.
So you're in this, yeah.
Because you don't want to be.
Right.
Because I guarantee you, don't think that, well, if I get put in that position, I'm going to, then Is
that when you're suddenly going to start working out?
I'll be able to take control. No, you won't.
Control's gone at that point. Or it feels gone. You don't wait until you are injured to start exercising.
Yeah, exactly.
Hey, now's the time I'm going to have all the motivation.
Do it now and prevent any future mishaps or health problems. That's the whole point.
Well, and I hope that motivated you, because look, it actually motivated me a little bit. I was like, you know what? What am I talking about? Like, I do let things get in the way, you know, and like we've had nothing but stuff get in the way of our routine. And actually, it hasn't even been that I don't feel like working out. It's literally just, you know, I operate really well on a routine. And when we have stuff come up in the morning that gets in the way of our morning routine, then we're like, oh yeah, so we don't normally work out in the afternoons. Like, when are we working out? You know, so we have to change everything up. And that gets, you know, more complicated than just doing the thing. You just do the thing,
Yep.
you just have the routine and you work out here, and that's when you do it. And that's the easiest way.
Exactly right.
But
You know, we started our 21-day challenge today, and you know, this is a perfect series to start off for those challengers. So today, in this the way we're talking today, I am hoping that this motivates you, and this is the mindset I want you to keep throughout this 21 days. Is no one's going to do this for you. You have to keep getting up.
Yeah.
And even if you're not doing it perfectly, that's okay.
Yep.
You just continue pushing,
Yep.
continue moving forward, 1% better every day, and you'll get there.
Yeah, it's not all or nothing. Don't do that to yourself.
All right.
So
All
we've given you all the tools. We're about to give everybody some tools, and we're going to talk today about why rise. Why get the motivation up to do these things? Why care about it? Why rise above, right, our current thinking? So, Motivation Monday. Are you ready? Pow.
Pow.
Kapow. Okay. So, why rise? Let's talk about it. In John 5:1-8, there's a story of a man who had been sick for 38 years. Jesus finds him waiting by the pool called Bethesda. Waiting for a miraculous healing, Jesus asks him, "Do you want to get well?" The man replies, "Sir, I have no man to put me into the pool where the water is stirred, but while I am coming, another steps down before me." Without missing a beat, Jesus tells him, "Rise, take up your bed and walk." Immediately, the man was made well and took up his bed and walked. We can learn from this story and apply it to our challenges to get more active and more healthy. We may not be paralyzed, but we've been struggling for many, many years with strongholds that have kept us bound. Like the infirmed man, we've held on to the belief that we have no one to help us, that we are alone, and that we will never be free from this bondage. We too have been stuck. Like the infirmed man, you may also have found yourself talking more about your struggles than the success that you want to achieve. You may become so consumed by your current circumstances that you don't believe that you can ever get well. And like him, your excuses may be more than your expectations. Jesus' command to him was simple, clear, and direct. Rise. There were no justifications, rationalizations, or questions. There was no need to address his fears or excuses, just a command to rise, followed by take up your mat and walk. Jesus was calling for action. We learned that the man was waiting by the pool because he believed that his healing would come from the quote-unquote magic waters, but Jesus showed him another way, a better way, one that did not require him to fight to be first in line, or that would require others to help him. Jesus healed him by the simple command to rise. Upon Jesus' directive, the man began walking. As you read this, can you hear Jesus extending the same opportunity to you? It's time to let go of what's been holding you back and rise. It's time to stop believing in magic potions and lotions and trust God for your victory. Yes. It's time to walk out of your place of discomfort, discouragement, depression, and despair and do what God says to do. It is time to rise. As you participate in this challenge, let this be your rally cry each day. Hear Jesus encouraging you to rise. We will be studying this passage in great detail as you challenge yourself to make exercise part of your daily routine. Be encouraged as you read the daily devotions, participate in the daily challenge, trust and believe that God has transformed you from the inside out. You are a new creation in him, in 2 Corinthians 5:17. So reflect on this today. Number one, as it relates to getting active, how is the Holy Spirit calling you to let go of what's been holding you back and rise? 2, why is it necessary to rise in this season of your life? And 3, as you read John 5:8, what do you hear the Holy Spirit calling you to do? So our prayer today could be, "Dear Lord, I'm about to embark on another journey, and it's one that kept me bound for such a long time. Here I go, Lord. You know my fears, my schedule, and what keeps holding me back from truly rising and embracing exercise fully. So I turn this process over to you, and I lay it at your feet. Please give me a healthy perspective on exercise, one that does not include pain or punishment or self-gratification, but one that glorifies you and you alone. By the end of this devotional and challenge, allow me to put exercise in its rightful place in my everyday life. I give you my body today as my reasonable service to you. In Jesus' name, amen. All right, so the verses that go with this is John 5:8. Jesus told him, stand up, pick up your mat, and walk.
You know,
Wow.
what I love about that example that they point out by the man that has been sitting by that pool in Bethesda, he had been there for a long time.
Decades.
Right?
Yeah.
So he had been there, couldn't move, frustrated, not being able to get into this pool that would supposedly heal him. He couldn't get any help. He couldn't get there fast enough. He just stood there. Now I can imagine him at first. He had so much hope, so much possibility. If I could just get there, if someone could just get me there, I could do the rest. And that's a lot of times that's what we think when we think about taking control of our health, or maybe a new challenge, a new exercise regimen, or joining a gym or something like that. We're excited and we see the possibility. But then when we're faced with the reality of our schedule, of what it's going to take, oh, I'm going to have to really take action and put in the work, we kind of back off and we start making excuses of why we can't do it. Okay. The thing is I love where she points out that Jesus just called him literally on the carpet, called him out and said, rise.
Do you want to get well?
Now, I want you to put yourself in that man's position. He had been sitting there, laying there for a good portion of his life.
Paralyzed. Yeah.
And he's paralyzed. And Jesus's comment to him is rise. And what would your reaction be? If I could rise, I would have done that. Number one, I wouldn't be here. Yeah. But there's no question. He wasn't asking for excuses. Just get up.
I just love that he asked him. Like, it just keeps sticking out to me. Do you want to? Like, he wasn't telling him to get well. He's like, do you want to? And he's like, yeah, but nobody can help me. And he's like, get up. Like, obviously this whole time he couldn't have. Jesus wasn't there or whatever. But Jesus was trying to show him that, I'm here to heal you. There is faith. And so a lot of times we don't connect. I want to point out that so many people don't connect things like physical fitness or, think like starting a challenge or something to like God actually helping us with that. We always think of the big stuff and the deep stuff and the, the lifelong things and the big challenges and the trauma and the spiritual health. But what about things like, our taking care of our bodies? God gave us one body. That's the only one we're ever going to get until they have like a full body transplant program, which isn't going to happen. You know what I mean? And so we have to be good stewards, to do the work that God's called us to do here. There has to be a vessel, a vehicle to do it. We have to be alive. That's a prerequisite. We have to be able, right, to do the work. And so if we're never taking care of ourselves, if we're not doing the things that for our bodies, it's not like it has to be perfect, but if we're never even remotely making time for it or making it a priority, that's us throwing away one of the very thing, actually, not one of the very thing God gave us to live in, to do the work he's calling us to do.
Yeah, exactly right. And I love how they, towards the end of the devotional, where she writes that she gives her body to him as
the most reasonable service.
Right.
Yeah. It's
and the thing is that we don't think that way, do we?
Right.
We are his creation, the thing that is most like him. Yet we mistreat it. We sacrifice our bodies to other gods,
which is work,
money, our schedule,
even in the name of like family and taking care of everybody else, like caregivers do that.
Right. We sacrifice our bodies to gluttony, to our habits, to what we want, to self-centeredness,
to comfort.
right? I hear this a lot, especially someone that really hasn't been in a gym or really hasn't taken on physical fitness. They picture going to the gym and getting fit. They have this stereotypical picture in their heads of someone that is some gym rat, is all full of themselves and just very vain.
Right.
Yet we don't think about how vain we are being by just not taking care of the very thing that God has given us. That's our body. We are being vain by eating the way we eat and continuing the bad habits that we know that we need to give up. We are vain when we say, well, that I have no time for that, but because I have a busy schedule and because I have to do this and I have to do that.
And actually, it's funny you're talking about being vain. Hey, Samantha's here. Hey, Samantha. Talk about being vain, really, in the sense that we're only thinking of ourselves. It's almost like
Yes,
selfishness. So it's like,
but that's my point. We're thinking of ourselves about, well,
but the wrong things.
I want to live my life. I want to be happy.
Yeah.
So I want to eat what I want to eat.
Yeah, I want to do what I want to do.
Right. And I'm in control of my schedule, and that's the last thing I want to do. I don't want to be around those people.
Yeah,
right?
I'm not a fitness freak. I've heard people say, or I'm not really an exerciser. Okay.
I'm telling you guys, I hear this all the time. It's it's prevalent.
Yeah.
And it's not really a good place to be in.
Well, and another thing, to be honest, a lot of people will say things like, I'm not really a person who fill in the blank. I don't really like vegetables. I'm not really a person who exercises. I'm not really a person who that's just not me. But my answer to that is there's a lot of things that we are not, but we're also trying to become somebody. We're trying to become somebody who has a life that we want. But in order to get that life, we have to become the person who does and likes those things. Okay. You can't just say, I'm not really a person who works, but I like to make money. What?
Yeah,
I mean,
exactly.
and I'm not talking about people who get, programs and stuff. I'm talking about just the general logic there. It's you can't, I want to eat a pie, but I won't bake one. What? Or I won't even go buy one. I don't know. I won't do the work. It's like, you can't not do the work and not do the things. It all
takes work.
Yeah.
It just depends on what work you want to put in.
And by the way, a lot of people would argue that, well, I mean, yeah, but I want to be comfortable. But is it comfortable when you don't do the work? Is it comfortable when you have to get up off the couch to go to the kitchen to get something and you can just barely move? You're just like, oh gosh, I feel like I'm 95. That's work, isn't it?
Yep.
Isn't it work to feel like that? Isn't it work to not be able to sleep? Isn't it work to have high blood pressure and feel that way?
It's uncomfortable.
Yeah. Isn't it work to move around?
Really, it's uncomfortable to stick and stay in your comfort zone.
Yeah.
Right.
Exactly.
You think, well, this is where I want to be. And it's familiar. Yeah,
we talk about the familiar zone a lot because here's the thing: is we say, well, don't stay in your comfort zone, but is it really that comfortable in our comfort zone? Because that's the thing, is that if we continue doing nothing for ourselves and not rising to the occasion, we continually get more and more actually uncomfortable. I mean, man, if I even let my guard down for more than a week, my body is angry. All of a sudden all my joints don't work. And I just feel like an old woman and I don't feel good. And then I have to get back on track in the gym and my body's like, oh, this again. It's just not, it doesn't like it. That to me is so much more uncomfortable than any discomfort I may feel in the gym or just getting my mind right to be able to go work out. Now, look, it doesn't even mean go work out. Some people are like, oh man, it's like a whole thing. I got to take all this time to go work out. You can start with walking or, in a park. You could start with going for a swim. You could start with playing a basketball game. You could start with pushing a stroller around or push your grandkids or your kids around. Getting active is not a black and white thing.
All right. You could start with dancing. Look, I'm not a dancer, but you can
start with dancing for sure.
Dancing is a great form of fitness.
Hiking.
Right. You
I
could
mean,
do things at home. You don't have look, I understand the concerns of today
mhm.
because of the pandemic and all the new possibilities of different variants
Yep.
and look, we're going into the fall. Guess what?
Flu
Flu
season.
season.
Yeah.
Okay. So I understand the concerns about going into public spaces.
Right.
Okay. And especially a gym where people are breathing hard. Okay.
Yeah.
And sweating.
Yep.
And it could get pretty dirty. Now, I know that every place is taking their precautions. I know that, but you're still nervous, aren't you? But is that your excuse? That why you're not getting up and taking care of
Well,
yourself?
that's actually why we're running this 21-day challenge the way we are. It's actually all at home body weight exercises. It's not even like in the gym. And we did that on purpose because of that exact thing. We're trying to help people eliminate excuses because there's a lot of them right now.
Yeah, there are so many things that you could do at home in the comfort of your own home, okay, to take control, to work out. Find a small space. Most of my gym right now it's been focused on things that are really portable. Okay. Um, and whether it's resistant bands, small dumbbells, TRX, things that could fit into your suitcase if you're traveling.
Right. Or even sometimes
in
like
small spaces at the park, you could take, our TRX bands and take them to the park. You could go and do a nice hike, and strap it to a tree and do some
man, and
moves.
those are the best because you're like exercising out in nature. It's freaking awesome.
Yeah.
But we could even do you could get those big smart water bottles as weights. Like we even tell people in our challenge, we're like, hey, if you don't have weights, just use a water bottle. It's just a matter of doing something. And there's all kinds of ways that you can be working out. Yoga is an especially amazing way to get moving because you get flexible. And by the way, you don't need to be flexible to do yoga. That's what yoga is for, to help you be flexible and for blood flow. And that's the thing too, is exercise isn't just for losing weight. We're not here to talk about losing weight. That's really actually almost never what we're talking about. That's just a byproduct of, being active. But being active is for many reasons. Getting yourself together to be active is for mental health, number one, I think, because of all the brain responses that happen when you exercise. Number two, you get all the toxins out of your body when you're sweating. Number three, you get amazing blood flow and circulation throughout your body, which is incredibly important for people like him with heart disease or lots of ailments. Okay. And number four, for all the bone and joint health that you need to gain through this. Like when you're doing weight bearing exercise, it's extremely healthy for your bones. It helps to slow the progress or prevent osteoporosis and things like that. So, there's a lot of reasons to get active. And another thing is that, blood clots for crying out loud. Lots of people get blood clots just from being too stationary too long. You know what I mean? And, there's so many things that happen with our bodies from just not exercising that we don't even realize. You know how many people I know have gone to the hospital for things that are actually something a chiropractor should be taking care of or a massage therapist? Because I actually have been trained as a massage therapist. I used to be one. And I've gone to the chiropractor since I was 18. And there's so many things that happen in our bodies that I know that other people don't understand. And they're like, oh, I've got a migraine, or I've got chest pain, or I've got all this stuff. And sometimes we just have a rib out of place. Sometimes, we just have a pinched nerve. Sometimes, it's really musculoskeletal half the time. And it's like, we just go to the chiropractor, or we, take the trigger point out of our shoulder or whatever, and my migraine goes away. There's things that you can prevent by just being aware of your body, learning your body and moving it.
But you just said it. You have to be aware.
Yeah.
You have to learn your body. You have to start to be in tune with your body. And you can't do that without
by
really
sitting around.
And really challenging yourself. Okay. Now look, we're just starting out with this devotional. This is something new for us. In our devotional series, incorporating fitness and what God has to say, what God has said, and really looking at what God has put before us and through the eyes of wellness. Right. And how we're going to take care of our body. I think the Bible is filled with scripture when it comes to taking care of our body, the very thing, again, that he's created, and how we should be treating our own bodies.
Right.
Okay. Now, whether it's Old Testament or New Testament. I know that kind of varies, but the thing is,
But the general idea is it's our vehicle.
Exactly right. And how we should be respecting it and treating ourselves. Okay. Now, we're not going, keep in mind, we started off this way, but I don't want you to feel like we're going to be
preaching at you,
like this. These are things that we all struggle with.
Yep.
These are things that I coach people through. Okay.
But because we struggle with the same things.
Exactly right.
Yeah, we all do. Don't be fooled that we don't struggle with this exact stuff.
Again, these are topics that we all have to face.
Right.
But through building our faith, okay, it does help develop that character, develops our character. And so we can start taking care of all these things in our life. If we could take care of this one thing, okay, imagine getting up and rising against all the other things and obstacles in your life. That is your character, but it all won't happen unless you take action towards the life you really want.
Right.
And those are I know I framed that on purpose on these tenets that we stand on, but that's truly what it takes, what it has taken in our life and what we have seen in other people's lives that requires change. If you want change, you want transformation, those are the three things that I think are the most powerful and most beneficial to your life.
Well, and so this is going to be a really good week, because here's the thing is that this gets much more specific starting tomorrow. This gets really, we're going to dig way into like types of fitness, like how fitness works for you, why it's good for you, things like that. So make sure you guys stay tuned to the rest of this week, because this really gets into it. And it's not just us preaching at you about why you should do this. But today was really about, okay, why do we even want to do this? So I encourage you to sit down and write down why. Why do you want this? Why do you want to make these changes in your life? Why is it that you really, truly want to get healthy? That's where it all begins, because you're never going to do it unless you know why.
Right.
So be okay writing that down.
Whether you're watching this live or you're watching this on replay, I hope and I pray that this was meaningful for you. I hope you felt like this gave you value today. If it did, please hit like, share this with your friends and family. If you're on our YouTube channel and you're watching us for the first time, hit subscribe, comment, and we'll get back to you. We just appreciate all your support, and share this with your friends and family. I appreciate that.
Absolutely. Now listen, if you guys want to be a sponsor of our show, you want to sponsor and support this outreach that we're doing here and our podcast as well, make sure you head over to Javie and Jessica Madrigal.com. That's www.javieandjessicamadrigal.com. And there you can be a supporter of our shows. You can put up a sponsorship monthly, or you just a one-time sponsorship. You can sponsor us for as little as $5 a month, you guys. So anything that you give is a partnership on this mission with us to helping people have lifelong health and get unstuck and have the life that they truly want to live. So make sure that you're jumping over to that. Also, if you want to work with us and you want to have schedule a free consultation, make sure you reach out, because we do have programs. We can help you, walk alongside you, work with you. We can customize packages for you, whatever it takes. We want you to be healthy, have that life, and move towards the goals that you have. And if you need someone to walk alongside you, that's what we're here to do. So we do free consultations. Make sure you reach out so we can talk to you more about what you need. We're here for it. All right, you guys, we hope you have an amazing Monday.
Have a great day, guys.
Talk to you tomorrow.
Bye.
Bye.